Dan might be having issues here, but just take us away as if we're playing properly and we'll see. Oh, no, it looks like they're going to stop. Okay.
Yeah, these guys will probably just spend a minute troubleshooting. Dan worked this out. We did notice this a bit yesterday.
Yeah, that's okay.
Cool.
Final only delete Danny. Hard beats Donna. I mean, again, why has Donna still got mod?
Oh, wait, how did
I don't understand that. Yeah, I don't understand that. Okay, come rockets. So they're just going to be testing at the moment, guys. They're not actually playing. They're just testing out FPS, and we'll restart the lobby in a second.
Yeah, cool. So we've got cameras on these guys today.
I think we've got some cameras on Camma.
Yeah.
Oh, is the FPS running from his computer? Is the webcam running from his computer?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely have to turn that off if he's having problems. So all good.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, I found they were a bit sensitive. I tried to stream my games just so we had some footage of Div 2, but yeah, the minute I ran OBS, I was getting FPS drops.
Right,
so
okay.
I just had to, like,
Oh, yeah, well, let's get the
it.
camera off then. That's fine. There you go. You can see Dan up there quickly before we take it off. So he's
Drink
not
it in
happy.
while you
The
can.
red makes him look angry. The red tone, the lighting tone makes him look a little angry. And his face looks really serious at the moment. So, yeah, he's trying to figure it out. But look, most likely it is the webcam that's causing some FPS problems for him because we're all on the same computers we played yesterday. So,
yeah, there he goes.
There we go. Oh, there's Steej as well. So we might lose the Steej cam as well. We want no excuses.
Yeah, we do have Steej cam
here,
on a different PC, so.
Oh, Steej cam's on a different PC.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll put Steej up then quickly. Don't worry about us.
No one's here to see us.
Yeah,
just
plug it out and close it. Yeah.
Bit of live tech support.
Yeah, we just hear. Yeah, Rob's just shouting them at him. Rob's got a whip as well, guys. Don't make him bring that out. The Netherlands are freaky.
Oh, for sure. He's running a tight job. Seriously, Rob's done such a good job. We shouted out to those.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Rob's carrying everything. Yeah, he's carrying everything.
Thanks. Yeah. And thanks for Mick bringing me coffees all morning. Much appreciated. Yeah. So
what time did you get here, Rob?
Today. Or
today. You were here when we were rocked up.
Yeah, like a 9:45. So.
Oh, dedication.
Yeah.
Didn't even open till 10.
That's true. But they recognized me as production crew, so they let me in early.
Then
yeah,
you're not gonna be able to fly home now. They're gonna want to keep.
They kept asking me for ID, mate. They had no idea who I was. I thought they were gonna kick me out at one point.
Okay, well, yeah, we're just throwing away the camera and.
Both cameras, or can we?
No,
get the Steej camera
yeah, we'll keep the Steej camera, and then for the next match, we'll make sure that the cameras are run from a different computer for every player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like if I get knocked out, you can just plug Dan's into my computer. Perfect.
Is he sitting next to you or near you?
I'm sitting next to Dan.
Oh, awesome. Yep.
It's been cool. I've been watching Dan play.
You hoping some skill rubs off or what?
Yeah, for sure, right? It's really awesome getting to watch these guys play, you know? Like, I was standing behind Rafa for a while, and you just watch him, and he sits there, you know, Russian-style keyboard on his lap, and it's like he hardly even moves his mouse, and he just pins someone with OG, right? It just looks so easy, so effortless. Yeah, it's amazing. Highly recommend
The 2070s, i7 2070s, go and get. So it could be, yeah, there's other bits of software running in the background because it's a net cafe. So yeah, it could really be anything. Anyway, looks like we are getting into Awoken again. Looks like for real this time. We'll see. Dan will know as soon as he gets in if the FPS is fixed and hopefully don't need to restart.
Yeah.
All right, and yeah, same thing applies. We'll go with Steej off the start.
Yep.
Let's see what he
See
can
what
do.
the Anarchy can do. Cool. And yeah, it was funny because I swear before the brackets got published, Steej was like, I just hope I don't have to play Dan again. I always play him every tournament.
Yeah,
Boom.
whenever-
Boom. What happens, bro? What happens, bro?
Whenever
Just like-
Australians, whenever they go overseas, right, they're like, oh, better make them play each other in like the first or second round. You know, you can't spread them out.
That's been, well, Camma and FraZe got split up.
Yeah.
They might still fight in the lower bracket, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, it'd be a great match. You know, great bit of banter between them in a high stakes tournament game. All right, here we go.
Yep, take us away, mate.
Grind your
Looks
face
good.
into the pavement.
All right, Steej off the spawn, railgun, heavy armor. You know, this is all pretty standard. If he can hit a rail off of this start, it's pretty nice, but mostly it's just going to be about gathering these initial resources, getting himself set up on the map.
No, just quickly, no Python. We'll get the semi-finals, but not any more quarterfinal games, just for the schedule's sake. So yeah, it's filling each other out. Does Dan have all the guns yet? I don't think he's got a lightning gun yet, does he?
Nah, I don't think he's been over there quite yet. No damage exchange with these rails, both players just dancing around a bit. These light, skinny champions are pretty tricky to hit. Really nice movement there for Dan. You know, bit of a tricky double jump.
I feel like Steej didn't hear that as well. That was probably the
Yeah, well, it's just a tricky situation, right? Dan hits everything here. He's got driving control of the map. Steej forced, or maybe not forced, but he pops out his injection anyway, and Dan knows exactly where he is, knows exactly what he wants. Great opening here for Dan.
Yeah, hit some good early rails and just felt strong there to push in. So Anarchy obviously can't get out like the Invis, like a Nyx can. So you kind of are stuck in that little hole down there. So
yeah, and it's great to see the Nyx get an early lead, right? Because if you get, you know, 3 or 4 frags up on this map and you just want to
run away,
yeah, you can play plus back for ages.
It can happen. It can happen. I don't think it will just yet, but it can happen later on. So nice little exchange there. Steej worse for wear with not much stuck to his name, and first Invis out for the game.
Oh, Steej gets stuck on the little platform. That's gonna be absolutely tilting, right? If he doesn't get stuck there, Dan can't hang around. That frag doesn't happen.
Wow.
You know, like that was a great play by Steej, and just unfortunately got stuck in a weird bit of the map.
There's another inject out. Really not much value from it. Dan might still get the kill here, and just reading him like a book right now.
I didn't
so
expect it to be a total
yeah, it's looking
slaughter.
tough. The Anarchy's as fast as he is around the map. Dan's cutting him off and hitting the shots. So hitting the opening rails.
That's it. And unless Steej is going to trade on these rails, Dan can keep playing like this. And now Dan's job is to just keep him away from this rail for as long as he can, really. Right? Press this advantage. Beautiful push in here. He knows the time. Really well calculated. You know, Steej, smart enough not to just sit around on this mega when he doesn't quite have the confidence on when it is. And beautiful bit of tri-bolt to finish us off. Dan is looking scary.
Yeah, he's looking very in control right now. And Steej is just trying to mix it up right now. Aggressive rockets nearly hits that mid-air, but Dan just closes it out with the stack advantage. Steej did a good amount of damage there, but Dan only has to do about half as much, and he's got the kill. So, and Steej is definitely pushing a little bit of aggression right now. You think he's a bit frustrated?
Well, Steej there knows that Dan doesn't have full HP, and Dan respects that he can't just, you know, be sitting up there. The LG fight, like, he probably wins it, but it's not worth taking the risk in this situation.
Oh, big hundy, and Steej does hit the rail, but worse for wear, and he doesn't know the heavy time. He's just hoping he sits on it. He does hit the rail, but he did the third rail to get the kill. So Dan just pushing in there, knowing he's got 2 rails in him. So
yeah, I mean, look, Steej made that pretty close, right? Beautiful.
Wow.
I mean, Dan just getting some really good spawns.
yeah,
right
and
here.
look, Dan is pushing the spawns as well. That's the second spawn we've seen him go aggressive on, and now he's cutting Steej off from the railgun, and Jack comes out from Anarchy, and Dan's still got this Invis, mate. How do you even get a kill on the Nyx at this point?
That's it. Dan
How do you even kill her?
Yeah, completely safe for Dan to just, like, you know, in what most situations would be an overcommitment, Dan just has that Invis in his pocket. So not only does he get to hang around, he gets a bit more damage, he gets a frag, and now, yeah, like, this is a scary margin to be up against an Nyx.
And Dan knows he's up there, doesn't have the Invis, so probably won't risk jumping up this jump pad. He's just going to try and deal what damage he can over the Mega. And Steej will most likely come back for it now. Yep, just getting some movement. And Dan still hits the tri-bolt and the rail, so it just denies the Mega pretty much straight away.
Now, that's a nice little rail for Steej, right? Dan doesn't have a small armor that he can easily get onto, but Steej doesn't make anything happen before that heavy, so it's not really going to matter. And this is the hard thing for Steej right now. He doesn't just have to get a good rail trade, he has to get a good rail trade, then make something happen. And this could be his time.
I can see Steej is trying to use the Anarchy speed now to avoid these rocket traps and avoid getting rocketed and stuck in the mud. So, but he gets the Mega, and Dan's obviously got the Invis, pulls him off it. Nice little rocket spam there from Steej, but is it enough to hold on to the heavy?
Yeah, I mean, looks like Dan just, you know, doesn't quite have the time to get there. Oh,
Ooh, what was that? A rocket?
that was a rocket across the map.
Nice.
Heavy, and Steej is in, right? But again, you know, Steej makes this awesome play, but he can't convert it into a frag where you normally would because Dan.
That's top light though. I like that from Steej. Aggressive, but he knew it's a race to that top light. He got there. 13 health he lives on, and obviously now he's got the Anarchy eject after he gets the mega overstack. So.
Yeah, and this is like if Dan had time to get a light armor, this is very different. These rockets are sick.
Oh my god, though, Dan stays too long, man. He did get some nice rocket damage. Steej hit some good LG in return, and okay, 6 frags now. We're looking at the scorelines looking a little different. Dan's not letting up on the pace at the moment.
Yeah, Dan can keep him away from this mega, and you know, like if Steej got in this mega, it'd be a crime. Dan with this mega should now be able to win heavy as well, so it's actually a pretty rough situation. Steej took so much damage at that heavy, even though he got the frag. Wow, key rocket there for Steej. He's going to keep the pressure up.
More importantly, gets the invis out as well, so it's looking like Steej is in a position to fight for this mega. Dan with no invis, Steej with the inject just up now. Wants to look for a little bit more damage. Nice, now he'll inject. Hit the rail on Dan, so it's definitely his mega. He wants to make sure he gets this top light and just keep control of these lights away from Nyx. And yeah, I mean, Steej is looking poised for the next frag. Knows the invis is down. He's got no cooldown shards either to go to. Dan trying to play ring around with Rosie, but Steej has played this game before.
That's it. Dan just being as tricky as he can, trying to waste as much time as he can, because the Anarchy can really steamroll here. You know, not long before this Mega's going to come back up. Steej, he's got time to come in and pressure with this light armor now. Any opening damage here is going to mean that Dan just has to evaporate. Dan looking for the trickiest little angle there. Nothing connects, and now, you know, big trouble at heavy armor if Dan wants to stick around.
Yeah, I think he's got to pay respects here, and this will give Steej a massive stack to just bully. He's going to have to just push in, waste as much stack as he can, and try to get this frag now, because he can't waste any more time with the clock now hitting nearly 7 minutes. He really has to push C. Now you can see he's using his stack advantages to push hard.
But Dan hits the defensive shots. Steej knows that if he commits now, and you know, like he has to.
Oh, massive! That was a sick read, and Dan did have invis up there. He just didn't expect that rail.
Exactly, right? And that's what he has to do. He has to catch Dan off guard. He can't wait for the invis to just waste his time like this. You know, it's really do or die here.
Okay, Steej knows that top light's gone, and he knows that back light's next, so he may push this back light up. He hears the jump pad. Is it a fake out? No. Dan gets a little splash. Steej is playing a little too loose here, a little too risky. He's eating a lot of damage.
You can really tell he's feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
With this mega, he should be able to stabilize, but again, you know, he's got to take this bit of time now to restack. Dan,
he had no rail ammo then. That's why he switched out the machine gun. Damn it.
Yeah, that really would have been it. But you know, just like wasting this bit of extra time, Dan's ability is going to come back up.
Yep. Now you got to get the invis out again.
Now you've got to force the invis
He might get it now. Great Hunty rocket to start the fight off. He's going to push hard. There's the invis. Dan does get a little cheeky rocket before he invises though. And Dan actually went aggressive there. He felt like he had a little bit of momentum, and Steej sort of read it, I reckon. He backed off accordingly. And Steej just has to push hard now for this while this invis is out. You can see he's not even going to the heavy. Taking the top light away. Oh, Dan is relentless though.
Wow.
You know what I felt? Dan was like, maybe I can go aggressive here and catch him out. And he did a little bit, but the stack is too strong from Steej, and just turned around and realized what was going on.
Yeah, you know, maybe online, but that doesn't fly on land.
He's just got to be careful here. He doesn't want to take any free damage. There's a railgun. He's not going to be too happy about that, though. He knows the cycle of the lights. You can see he's just waiting up here for it. Now he might take the heavy first, and then he knows that backlight's already up, but Dan can't go for the rail light, so...
But again, Steej waiting to take that heavy, right? 3 frags in just over a minute with this invis.
Oh, big Hunty rocket. There's the invis straight away. Now he's using the rocket jump to try to catch his opponent. Guesses wrong, though, and eats a rail in the back.
Oh, Steej's anticipation with these across-the-map rockets has been so perfect. And again, he just needs to get a frag right now. There's no other...
Yeah, he's trying to guess where he is. He hears the rocket splash from Dan. Dan's dead here. Nice little air jump from Dan, but Steej read that. The wall jump, sorry, and Steej read that. 2 frags. It's still doable. No invis left on Dan, but Steej has to get this frag now.
Oh, Steej's movement is actually so nice here.
He just has to get... He's got no time left.
This is it.
Oh, and he has to push so hard there that it exposes you to just getting defensive rockets like that. So
Yeah, no, it feels like Steej really needed to commit just like 30 seconds, a minute earlier. You know, he went for a few of those heavy armors, but it's so hard because the way Dan was playing, you know, he was sitting in those corners with invis ready. If you try and push him to force out the invis, you're going to take a direct rocket, and then you're going to be weak. You're not going to be able to capitalize on the invis being down. You know, Dan just got such a good lead, and he played this Nyx perfectly.
yeah, it took too long for Steej to fire up there, and he gave away too many frags. But you can't say that it was Steej's bad. I think Dan played aggressive off some of those spawns and caught Steej going for guns early on. And yeah, just blew the lead out too hard, and then just Steej was good in control though, so you know there's signs of life there for the next map.
Oh yeah, I mean both players looking really crisp, really well polished.
That'll be the first map done. So just saw a few people asking, are we going to do Chain and Zenarko? Are we going to do FraZe and Rafa? There's going to be no other quarterfinal games on stream, just purely for the schedule. We've got a lunch break that everyone needs to go on. And so we can't afford to just keep doing games. We're going to get both semi-final games. So the winners of these games will be both on stream. And then after that, we'll go down to the losers games, or we'll do the upper bracket and then the losers game. So we're going to have lots of good players on stream. It's going to be a long day. We've still got another about 7 hours left of streaming. So you just with us, you're only in the second game.
Gonna be huge. All right, moving into Vale now. Steej playing Eisen here. You know, I really rate the Eisen, by which I mean I really hate playing people who pick Eisen on this map.
Yes.
It's so annoying.
Right.
So yeah, and Steej just knows how to do it, right? You know, when you play a good player and you just keep thinking, man, you know, they're just in the perfect position. I can't push them. Oh, it's so frustrating, right? Oh, why is the turret there? You know, I can't play the way I want to play. It's frustrating, you know? All right, these guys aren't wasting any time. Let's see what happens. What's your prediction, Mick?
I wouldn't mind seeing all 3 maps. I think Steej is going to be pretty privy and pretty aware of the Galena totems, so I don't know if Dan will get overstack up like he wants to. It's all up to Steej, really. I think he's just going to camp that top teleporter exit with the Eisen turret. You know, where else do you put the Eisen turret? On the heavy, on top of the heavy maybe, or at rockets. And then, yeah, I'd like to think Steej he warmed up now. He looked like he's coming back. Although Dan definitely didn't seem like he was completely out of it. He's obviously showing a little bit more space to Steej in moments of that last map. But yeah, we'll have to see. The start is important, like we saw. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to spawn at rockets and who isn't going to spawn at rockets? The main dynamic of Veil of Narth. So, let's do it. Let's go with Dan off the start, riding into this on a high.
Prepare to fight.
Now let's see what he does with these totems.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight. Time.
Now, Dan, you know, very wisely doesn't just drop down to those rockets. That is a death trap off of that spawn. Nice little spot for the first totem. He's going to get a second totem up pretty quickly here as well. Pretty standard. Now it's just really about how he's going to actually push down into these rockets.
Not a bad start for the Galena, though. Yeah, the rockets is important. There's the turret, so Steej will know now he has rockets, and Steej tries to cut him off with the LG out. I don't like this, and interesting weapon choice from Steej there.
I mean, if you don't get owned by that first rocket, it can go pretty well, but Dan just too prepared, you know, too crisp with the rockets, and Dan's been hitting really nice rockets. Probably a bit ambitious from Steej.
Dan just listening to sound cues, gets a free rail on Steej. A nice little exit rocket though. Little stray rocket.
Yeah, they're huge. Steej has been hitting them the whole series so far. It's incredible.
And there's the totem cleared. Well, the one totem cleared. I don't know if he got both of them. Oh yeah, he did get both of them. Yeah, he did. And nice damage over the heavy, and there you go. And so, like we were saying, it's important to go clear the Galena totems. He went and cleared both just then. He knew that they were both around that area, and now Dan's basically working at start, you know, from the very start again.
Yeah. Well, and not only that though, right? Like using the turret just to get that bit of information about where Dan was through the telly, right? Like, you're just getting more value out of that turret than Dan's gonna
There's
be able
another
to get out
totem
of the
dead
totem.
just then. Dan just dropped it then, and so again, Dan's still back at ground zero with the totems, and 30-second cooldown timer pretty much makes Galena ineffective, but he wins the LG battle, 40 health. So just kind of use your raw aim, raw skill to win at the moment with no ability. So.
And that's something Dan can do, you know. He's in a pretty good spot here. He's going to try and take out this turret, rather. Turret versus totem.
They're almost nullifying each other's abilities here, aren't they? Not getting any value out of either. Steej is getting information, of course, and say that's about it.
Good placement of the turret there, but the turret, yeah, is going to be so annoying.
Oh,
And it
that
forces
rail.
us to drop down. And that basically says, you know, yeah, you can't stay in this room. Really critical rocket for Dan to connect with there. That's going to stop Steej applying any more pressure for now. And Dan's going to come through. This could be a bit of a bingle here. Steej, he's moonwalked back to the other part of the map. Just collects his heavy, nice and simple. And now
That totem was in such a bad spot. Steej just killed it straight away. I don't know what Dan was thinking putting that one down in particular, actually.
Oh, but Dan's rocket's doing so much legwork.
He'll
here.
go through here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit that exit rail as he fell, so he knew he was good enough to go through the teleporter. Steej does get on the rocket launcher. No, he didn't. Dan did take it away, so Steej took the flip on racing to the rockets.
Oh,
Gets the frag, but does take a lot of damage as well, so...
yeah, Dan hangs around for that trade, and it's not a good time for it because Steej is going to get this heavy armor. So, you know, even though Dan does some damage, it's not really going to mean anything here. He gets position, and he's going to hit shots, so it's going to not be too bad for him. But kind of gives Steej a bit more of a fighting chance here than...
Oh, the teleporter. Oh, no, and he's forced that's an unforced error out of Steej. He just fell straight into the lava then because he was scared about Dan coming through the teleporter, so he was going to hate that frag. Absolutely hate that frag.
And yeah, you know, Dan should have a fairly good cycle here. Turrets down from Steej. So yeah, I mean, you know, just a solid bit of quick action here. Dan hitting like an absolute truck. It's really impressive here.
He hears Steej footsteps over into this back light. He's just thinking, where is Steej moving? Here's the jump pad now. He hits a nice rail, and Dan just playing off the sound cues so well right now.
That's it. Hits a shot, waits, listens, makes an awesome play. Like, textbook Quake right now, playing the map so perfectly. Veil's a really important map for sound. Steej's just trying to waste his time with the turret, maybe to try and get onto the Mega, but there is no time for the Mega. Steej doesn't want to hang around here when he doesn't know the time, and he is just gone. Kind of crazy. I feel like our predictions were pretty good here about the totem use, but it just happens that Dan is playing so well that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's not getting really much value, if at all, out of these totems. Like little bits of information here and there, but I think Steej has done a good job at clearing them. And even that one, he doesn't go through the teleporter and clears it again. So, you know, but then Dan is sort of playing around it in that instance where Steej has got to spend time to clear the totem, and then Dan gets free damage on him. So got a little bit of value out of that particular totem, but not any life or HP value.
Oh, important rail for Steej to hit there. That's going to give him a clear advantage on this rotation. Steej is going to have to try and come and do something with this heavy. Dan. Oh, no pressure on this heavy from Steej. That gives Dan time to get the light armor. Steej trying to set up at this Mega, but I don't know if he has time to wait for it, and he doesn't. He, again, maybe hoping that that turret can just waste enough time, but he doesn't know the time on the Mega. He's just got to leave. Yeah, so like Steej, you know, he's playing to keep the scoreline close right now.
Yeah, I think so. He's playing for the last couple of minutes now because he's got nothing to work with. You know, I think he even gets bullied off this heavy. He can look for a rail shot, maybe, but he doesn't have a lot to do here. You know, he can't really even stick around at all in any capacity. So he's just sort of trying to pick his moment, isn't he?
Yeah, but like it feels like there have been a few times when he maybe had a moment, and he's just been like super passive on some of these items. He's let Dan get a light armor and then get in. Okay, good bit of information there for Dan. Steej trying to work his way into this room. Dan is ready to pounce. The turret is going to be so annoying to deal with. But
Oh,
like
little
Steej,
rocket though from Steej at the end there. And there's the rail that's going to cost him. And now Dan knows he's so weak after that rail. It was a good spam rocket from Steej, but Dan hitting that rail just meant like, oh, I can push in hard now because I can still take another 2 rails. So, and these rails off the spawns are really hurting Steej right now. They're really hurting him.
Yeah, these situations are changing so quickly. You know, Steej thinks he wants to hang around for an item, but Dan just says no.
Steej can't be here. He does hit a cheeky rail though, but he really is just stuck here at the moment. There's the turret. Information's for Steej, but not really anything else.
Yeah, it gives him a little window to back out of the room.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it gave him a little bit of a window to get out.
Again, Dan, you know, this is kind of like the opposite of what we were seeing.
Dan's playing pretty tight. Oh, I'm just trying to think about like what can Steej do. Dan is playing a really tight game. You know, he's been cycling the lights really well. So Steej has been hitting rails and damage, but then he just loses the light anyway. So it's all for nothing in the end.
But it's easy sound as well, right? Like in the AQL final, Steej was the one who was sitting and waiting.
There you go. Look at the light. Look at that. There's an example. Steej does a little tick of damage. Cool. Dan goes, I'm getting the light and getting the heavy. So Steej just really had nothing to work with, and Dan's just playing a really tight game at the moment. So.
Steej making a big play here, hoping to maybe get the drop away rocket. Nothing connects. So again, another rotation's going to go to Dan. You know, that's a decent play, right? You show up to that mega, you hold the position, you drop away before it comes up, you try and get the damage on your opponent. But Steej just can't make all the pieces connect right now.
Steej trying to guess where Dan is. Dan's playing very, very quiet right now, just trying to play off Steej's noise. And Steej will get on in a heavy, but it did cost him a lot of damage, so he didn't really get much efficiency out of it other than taking it away from Dan. Here's a little fight. He can't go through the teleporter. He has to back off still. I think it's, as every single second that passes right now, it's closing the door more and more percentage-wise on Steej even being able to make a comeback, so...
Yeah, look, we might see a repeat of the last game where Steej tries to chase something down in the last few minutes, but even then, there's no guarantee that he...
Nice little rail. Dan can't show here for a second one, or you wouldn't think he will. Steej comes up for a shot, and then he gives a little window for Dan to fall on the heavy, and, you know, just when you think Steej is doing the right play, like if he'd hit that rail coming up there, he would have been good. But he misses a rail, and Dan goes, well, thanks for the heavy. You just gifted me opportunity to come at the heavy because you've just come up the jump pad. So, and that's the game over, that decision. But obviously the game was decided a little bit earlier than that, but that was the last sort of crucial decision Steej made, and it's game over right now. It's just garbage time. Steej is trying to push. He's got to try and hit amazing rockets or something silly, and there's no chance, mate. Dan's played a really tight game, and unfortunately, I just think the in-between damage that Steej was hitting just constantly got nullified by those top light, the top light and that bottom light near the rocket.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, well, now Steej is almost hurting himself by doing damage in between items.
That was it.
He needed like a Hail Mary, you know, stack up, full stack up 100 as much as he can, and then just try to Hail Mary something.
Yeah, it felt like he was trying to maybe set up at Mega a few times, but he left before the fight, right? Because he never really quite knew when Mega was quite a lot of the game.
I just want to say, after seeing Rafa and Steej yesterday, Dan was sitting there thinking, Rafa is playing so tight. He's playing so good. He's playing so tight. And I think normally we see Dan go balls to the wall, refrag game, makes it messy. And now this is a completely different beast today where he's playing so tight. So tight, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how many windows of opportunity were there for Steej? Like, he had to literally manufacture something or force something to get anything going. And it just felt like that game was completely in Dan's control, even though the totems, Steej did a great job on clearing the totems and being aware of the totems. So, look, that's tough, and that's going to be an interesting next match for Dan. Obviously, we're going to get it on stream, but you probably got to get your game to go too. But
yeah, I've got to run off, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, Dan, you know, takes a big win over
73 rail on Dan.
Huge.
That's tough. That's
You know,
tough.
I'm looking forward to seeing Dan come up against. Who's on his side of the bracket? Is it FraZe or is it Rafa?
I think
No, it's Rafa.
think it is Rafa. I think Zanaku, or I think Zanaku and Chain have got Rafa.
Yeah.
So I think